Hello and welcome back to Cancelled Movie Report, the documentary podcast series that talks about the best movies that Hollywood never made. My name is Michael Campbell, but you can call me Cambo. And joining me, as always, is actor and comedian, Mr. Eden Porter.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, and this project we've brought back from the dead, which is very ironic given the subject matter.
Great.
Of course, talking about Ghostbusters Hellbent, the cancelled third Ghostbusters film. This is actually part 2 of our report. So if you haven't listened to part 1, make sure you do that first. But if you need a little refresher, here's a quick recap. So there's 4 new Ghostbusters. There's Frankie, Lovell, there's Moira, and lastly there's Clara.
Mate, Bill Murray, let's kill him off, straight up.
Our friend tried to die and cross over into an Afterlife plane, but was apparently refused entry.
The states of heaven and hell blocked up like a toilet and spilling over on us.
This Father Trinodius seemingly couldn't die.
Couldn't die, Campbell.
You'll wear the new hardware for defensive protection. There is an egress tab. This remote activates your agitation beacon for flux back to our plane.
You want us to go to hell, confront the devil, and come back alive.
They take a moment to assess their surroundings. Oh no, they've arrived in the Afterlife plane, and they head off to find out who's in charge. Now, let's get back into the film. So, when we left our Ghostbusters, they had just arrived in hell.
Are we calling them like the next gen Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they are, really.
The new kids. The new
What
kids on the
do you
block.
think of this concept for a Ghostbusters film?
It's so far.
Yeah,
I think it's a fine concept. I think it's good. I think it
doesn't feel out of place.
No, it plays into that world.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes, we've talked about Indiana Jones films and all kinds of stuff, and sometimes you get an idea, you're like, I don't know if that works
Flying
as
saucers.
a film for this franchise. But this idea of a spiritual dimension leakage is a very Ghostbusters idea.
Yeah, and hell being filled up.
And a very Dan Aykroyd idea.
Oh, so Dan Aykroyd sipping on his crystal vodka, coming up with
Yeah.
this crazy stuff.
Yeah. But you like this. You're okay with this concept of like they have to go to a different dimension.
I like the idea. Yeah, that's fine. I'm buying that. I'm buying what Dan Aykroyd's selling.
You're not dimension prejudiced.
I'm harvesting the seed that Dan Aykroyd has sowed with his
great.
$125 million project. No, but that aspect of it I think is really good, and I like the idea. And they've lost this in the other ones that there has been work this whole time.
Yeah,
I like it that they went, well, this is what happens. There's ghosts in this universe. It's not like
it feels more like an evolved universe.
yes.
And they haven't hit you over the head, but it's very clear that, okay, this is now just day-to-day life.
Yeah, there are ghosts that turn up.
Yeah,
and
like-
people take
like-
it seriously.
It is our world as you know it, but there are ghosts, and the Ghostbusters are a known thing.
Yeah, correct.
We're with our new Ghostbusters team venturing into hell, by the way. And we journey further into Manhattan.
Sorry, can I just ask you?
Yeah.
So this is like one of those situations where it's a mirrored world.
It's Constantine.
Yeah, that's what I was going. It's Constantine. It's the Upside Down.
Yeah.
It's the mirrored world. And it's dark and gloomy, but it's the same
Exactly.
buildings and everything.
Exactly.
Like that. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
now, of course, if it's called Manhattan in our realm, what do you think it's called in this realm?
Sane Pants,
Uh,
Mad Hatton, Sane Pants. See, Cam, see what I did there?
Yeah. I'd say it's even lower hanging fruit.
No, it's not. What?
Manhattan.
See, I at least tried to do something.
Exactly.
with it,
That's what I mean. It's even lower hanging than
That's
what
pretty
you
bad.
did.
Yeah,
you just
okay.
tried to do word opposite, but they didn't even do that.
No.
They went hell.
So is that on a sign or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
wow,
signage for
okay.
Manhattan.
There's signage.
There's signage.
Okay.
I can't explain it to you, but there
Is
is
it
signage.
graffiti on Manhattan?
No,
And someone's changed it to hell?
No,
or
no,
is
it is called Manhattan.
Okay, I'm not liking this.
Do you like it more or less than the big-headed 10-year-old?
I like this. This irritates me more.
Than the big-headed 10-year-old coming out of the fog.
Yeah.
It looks bigger than he was
Yeah,
small.
he did look bigger than he was small. So, yeah, I do hate that more.
Okay. It's good to know. So the whole environment's kind of bathed in this weird orange light. It's
Not
I guess,
red. Orange.
Yeah, I guess.
Reddy orange. Hellish. Yeah.
And it's kind of casting this otherworldly glow over the night. And they see the Brooklyn Bridge in the distance. And
You sure it's called the
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn Bridge, Cambo?
The-
And not
the-
the broken back bridge?
The Boo Excellent.
Good. Oh, yeah, that's better.
They see the Manhattan Metropolis Masters monolith.
Is that the Statue of Liberty?
No, it's just like a central part
Oh,
of
it's just a
city.
thing. Okay.
And it's a very densely populated area in something called Holy Square. And looming over them is this dominant structure of the city's courthouse. And surrounding the environment is a unique blend of the mystic and the mundane. And the streets kind of stretch infinitely in all different directions.
Is there people around?
Yeah, but
Ghosts.
they're a mix of like all different kinds of ghouls. And as they venture deeper into the square, they actually come across a bunch of minotaurs.
Hey,
And
what?
The minotaurs are kind of like their quasi-police. And they're roaming around. So there's like minotaurs, there's demons, there's ghouls.
So you say Minotaur, I
Yeah.
say Minotaur.
Interesting. I might end this podcast. You say minotaur.
I say Minotaur, and you say Minotaur.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's just how we're different. That's
I
why
guess
we
so.
work so well.
Who's
together.
right? Let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
Because I've never doubted myself until now.
I said Minotaur. I always said Minotaur.
Yeah, interesting. Because that sound like I've heard people say that as well.
But I've
al-
never doubted myself.
No, never.
You're very confident, Campbell.
Well, that's what's got me this far. So yes, these minotaurs are a quasi-police force. And MOIRA kind of musters up the courage to approach one of them and ask for help. They're trying to, they want to know who's in charge here. They're hoping to gather information about
Hang
the
on, can
mayor.
we just go? Why are they Minotaurs? This is
I think it's minotaurs.
Why? No, but why are they there? This is not ghosts. This is what is happening?
Yeah, there seems
Are
to
these
be
mythical
some
creatures as
confusion
well, like
between
unicorns and stuff?
demonic and mythical.
Yeah. Okay. Like, do we have Cerberus? Is Cerberus around?
Not in the Holy Square,
Okay.
but yeah, it's just I think anything of like folklore that is
Oh, okay.
semi-demonic, I guess, because they
Okay,
guess they're balls.
it's the bright universe, isn't it?
It kind of is the bright
Oh,
universe, to be
wow.
honest. Yeah, this is very bright
Esque.
because they specifically say it's a mixture of the kind of mythical and the mundane. So it's like, you've got these giant, creatures, but they're just cops. There's cops on the street.
Yeah, but it's not ghosts.
No,
This is what is annoying me right now.
more or less than the big-headed 10-year-old.
This annoys me. I still hate that kid. I hate that
And his
kid.
goddamn mist. So she says, maybe they'll help us tell us where the mayor is. Maybe the mayor will know what's going on.
The mayor of Ghost Town.
The mayor of Manhattan. However, this interaction quickly turns because the captain questions their identity and their purpose. He's growing very suspicious
Captain Minotaur.
because to him, the Ghostbusters appear to be living beings. And that state is forbidden in this realm. And the Ghostbusters are arrested under crime of being alive.
What is the crime, sir?
Being alive.
Being alive.
Being a living entity. And they're taken to the main courthouse.
A succulent Chinese meal?
Our majority of our audience are American.
We'll get
I
that
would
reference.
love to know if anyone got that.
We'll put a link in the comments.
No, find it yourself. Just
Find
discover
it
it.
yourself.
Discover
so
it.
type in succulent Chinese meal.
It'll come up.
It'll come up. Yeah.
I really want to see someone discover it. Suddenly, a 6-foot figure outside the courthouse in a brown and blonde wig over his leathery head. He steps in and introduces himself as Michael TAGHANIK. And he's a lawyer. And he can help them.
Is
So,
he?
He's a demon.
He's a demon.
Yeah, he's got leathery kind of red skin. But he's got a bad kind of wig. He's
Bloody
essentially
all lawyers.
he's essentially like
Am I right?
the Lionel Hutz of this.
Can I have this birdcage?
He's kind of this like bumbling lawyer. And he's like, oh, he looks like you're in trouble here. I can help, kind of thing. But absolutely great jab about lawyers, by the way.
Yeah, good.
So they're thrust into this overwhelming scene. Their cell is reminiscent of a nightclub, complete with neon lights, loud music, and people partying. The Ghostbusters are clearly out of their element, struggling to comprehend what's going on with this sensory overload.
They're in a nightclub,
They're
not
in a
jail.
nightclub.
Okay.
Where do you think they could be?
Purgatory?
What about Disco Inferno?
Oh no, Camo.
This is Disco Inferno.
Mate, just when I think I know the naming conventions, they pull the rug out from under
Yes,
me.
the music is relentless and it's a never-ending loop that drills into their mind.
Can I just say, every single Ghostbusters film, they have to be imprisoned at some point. Every single one that happens to them. Whether it's a madhouse
like a trope,
or
isn't
it's
it?
a trope. It's a Ghostbusters trope, and they have to be in that.
I never realized that, but you're right. Carla says to them while they're sitting in this this nightclub with the pumping music that she called that lawyer that gave him the card. And suddenly Michael Taganik...
Hang on what phone?
I don't know, it just cut to hours later. I guess they got their
They
rights.
get their one phone call.
Yeah. Michael Taganik suddenly bursts in and tells them, don't worry, I got you free. All while this is happening, back in the Brooklyn warehouse, the other Ghostbusters are tracking them on their homing
Oh,
devices.
I forgot about those guys.
So they can see in their New York map where they are in the other dimension.
Yep.
And the homing beacon indicates that their friends are now on the move from where they were. We now see back in the other realm, the Ghostbusters sit in the office of Michael Taganik. They're waiting to hear his plan.
Make yourselves comfortable. I'll have my secretary make us some coffee, and then we'll discuss your case.
Coffee? I'll pass. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. I've been thirsty ever since I got here.
Now, before we begin, here's what I want for getting you out of Disco Inferno and in to see the mayor.
Go ahead, counselor.
I get that you're from somewhere else. Probably that somewhere has whiskey.
100-year bonded Scottish stock.
I thought so. Maybe we can talk about you hooking me up.
How are we supposed to do that?
Well, you got here from there, and stands to reason you could go back from here to there, 'cause for sure you didn't come to stay here, and so you could go back there and come back here with a case of whiskey.
We might be able to arrange that.
Provided we get to see the mayor within the hour.
Getting in to see him is no problem. Man, wow, you're alive. Good for you. They say you can't take it with you, but it looks like you guys can. Michael Taganik got somebody that wants to see the mayor.
Certainly, Mr. TAGHANIK. Go right in. Hey, all right.
Indeed.
TC rockin', B.
See, our man is connected.
Services everybody needs in a truly democratic culture.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, come in, come in. Come on in, everyone. Have a seat. I was just telling my staff about my new legislation to provide our citizens with the quality of life this town has always offered.
My friends here wanted to meet you.
Well, come in, come in. It's great to have you here.
Sir, we represent a company which investigates...
I welcome new business to the community, and I've always facilitated the grounding of free enterprise as the cornerstone of any society which nurtures the fundamentals of business. But
He just goes
not
on
only
all
the
day like this,
fundamentals
right?
of business,
All day, all night, all year.
life itself.
Until we vote in the next one.
So if this is all he does, how does anything get done around here?
It doesn't.
Well, who in hell runs this city?
Now look, you said you wanted to see the mayor. You want to see somebody who can get things done. Well, that's an entirely different story.
Who would that be?
Okay, now, in addition to the cases of whiskey, we'd be talking about you guys bringing me back the components and such so I could build my own portable distillery.
Our employers could handle that.
Really? All right. You want the maximum monster in this burg? You're looking at a private audience with Mr. SIFFLER.
Uh-huh. And what's his position?
He's chairman of the Reserve Bank and a real estate developer.
Okay.
A real estate. They're always evil real estate developers.
And who do you think SIFFLER was based on?
Oh,
Real estate developer, 2000s.
I think it's going to be Donald Trump.
Correct.
Is it actually?
Yeah. Apparently, the SIFFLER was loosely based on Donald Trump, this like megalomaniac real estate developer.
No way.
Yeah. Before it was cool to slam
Yeah,
him.
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, they go to the mayor. The mayor is just placating people. Like, he doesn't do anything. He's just there
He's a
talking
terrible
about...
man. He's a terrible man.
Yeah.
He's a terrible man.
And also, their lawyer is obsessed with whiskey.
And then lawyer, he was dancing around a little bit of Christopher Walken there for a second. There's a little bit of that coming through.
Yeah, a little
Good.
bit of maybe Arrested Development.
Yeah.
So we're back in the Brooklyn warehouse where Stans and Spengler are working on something. It's a 9x5 inverted shaped V-hulled graphite structure. Almost looks like a boat. And Marta Dessiter suddenly appears. Remember, she gave him $9 billion.
Yeah.
And she's asking what this billion-dollar structure is, and they tell her that it's a Heisenberg-Feynman loop provider collider. So they've said it a few times now. The Heisenberg-Feynman loop provider is what got them across.
Yeah.
And this is now like a new version of that. That the idea is it's meant to be kind of like transportable.
Great.
You can kind of drive around the other dimension. That kind of
Oh,
thing.
it's
Whereas
like
they
do
yeah.
one sort of style. Yeah.
So that's why they're building this big kind of weird car boat type
Shape
thing.
Yeah.
We're back with the team in Manhattan as TAGHANIK shows them around their way around before they meet SIFFLER. So they go to the Statue of Prolonged Agony.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That I like. It's not the Statue of Liberty. It's the Statue of Prolonged Agony.
Meanwhile, they're now on a river taxi in Manhattan. And they're gazing at the cityscape. And from their point of view, the river is kind of thick and brown. But to the left, there's a faint glow, almost like a beacon, illuminating on the horizon that has a golden sheen. And the sky above that seems different in some way. They arrive at an imposing structure called the Diabolic Spire, standing tall at 666 Central Mine South.
Far out.
The sheer scale of the building is overwhelming. And this is the office of Mr. SIFFLER. But they now enter the office of Mr. SIFFLER to finally meet the man who's behind everything.
Please, come in. I've been waiting for you. As promised, Johnny Walker Red. Thank you, Mr. TAGHANIK. Well done. You got them here quickly.
Pleasure to serve my true master. Call anytime.
You're fired.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Luke SIFFLER.
I'm Moira. This is Carla, Frankie, Lovell.
It's nice to meet you. How are you enjoying our little town?
Great, just great. Lots to see and do.
You have a beautiful office here. Yeah, we've done very well. And since I spent so much time here, we planned it for height and views. You know, if you stand just here by the window, you can see all of Manhattan.
Sir, if you don't mind, I'd like to get to the reason why we...
Oh, I know why you're here. Yeah. And where you're from. Yeah. I knew someone would come eventually, once I started dumping.
Well, good. Then perhaps you can answer some of our questions.
Sure, yeah. If you can answer some of mine.
What's that little bright spot of light beyond the farthest bridge over the horizon?
That little bright spot is not something I like to discuss. It is not an acquisition target.
Let me be frank and candid, Mr. SIFFLER. Our employers wish us to inquire about a reanimation of the dead on a massive scale in our abutting reality plane.
Your employers, they would be the individuals responsible for developing this equipment here, which enabled you to vibrate across the particulate field, dividing out two worlds?
You seem to know quite a bit about how it works.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I have some similar research underway at present, yeah. It's just that we've been unable to discover a few crucial steps, which your employers have succeeded in perfecting.
We work for a very sophisticated organization, not to be underestimated.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I also assume that you're in possession of some defensive capabilities?
You can take that to the bank. The bank which I happen to notice you own.
Oh, don't mind the bodyguards. They're just for my own comfort. You may keep your weapons.
Back to my first question.
Let me show you something here at my desk. this model, this map. This is as close as I've been able to visualize your physical plane. How'd I do? I find it most attractive, yeah. The capital of your world is as this is mine, yeah. Now, you've been here for a few hours. You see that we have traffic and population problems, which could be substantially alleviated by dispatching our non-essential residents into your environment.
This will be unacceptable to our side.
Yeah, then this is a problem. You see, I love live people. You're so much more interesting than dead people. Plus, there is no possibility that your rivers are as dirty as ours.
Yeah, you be surprised. We've done a lot of bad things to our side.
Let me be blunt. I wish to possess the technology which will enable my staff to begin acquiring your property more actively. Your possession of these means at this time is most convenient.
No, you aren't taking any of that, sir.
But at least we have a dialogue and a real exchange of ideas. So let's agree to disagree.
And we'll get back to you.
We have to report back to our employers. So, if you'll excuse us.
Oh, I'm afraid I cannot allow you to leave.
First of all, Luke Siffler. You get it?
Yeah, Lucifer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah. Donald Trump is the devil.
Why not Lou? Why Luke?
Yeah. Why
Lou
not?
Siffler is way
Luke-
closer
yeah, that's
than
true.
Luke Siffler.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. No, you're very right.
Yeah. Essentially, he's like, I'm just going to keep dumping in your realm because we're full.
But if he can dump people in the realm, what doesn't he already have the technology to send people to the realm then?
Well, it's more that they can't enter. Well, you're right. People are coming back. So, yeah. He wants to also now acquire.
Yeah, he wants to acquire
the other realm.
Property. He's a property developer.
Yeah,
he wants to acquire property.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's the baddie, it sounds like, Campbell.
It does sound like the devil might be the baddie. So he's got these big kind of hulking demon bodyguards that grab all the Ghostbusters, and a scuffle breaks out. And in the chaos, CARLA actually manages to escape and get to an elevator. Back in the main office, Siffler's bodyguards have captured the rest of the team and stripped them of all their equipment, including their belts. The situation.
Oh, they need their belts.
I know, they need them to get back. The situation looks dire. But just when all hope seems lost, one of the team's tracking device starts to ping, a signal of a returning member. Back in the warehouse, the surgical team is there on standby. Suddenly, CARLA reappears because she obviously managed to escape.
Yep. Hit the button.
Her first words out of her mouth are warning about the others in their belts. Siffler is agitated with his bodyguards, who is fidgeting with the belt. But he's kind of like, can't quite get past the safety toggle of the belt with his big hulking hands. Siffler demands he handles the belt himself. The protective toggle is accidentally triggered, resulting in a bright pink flash, obscuring the view momentarily. In the Brooklyn warehouse, Spangler, Stantz, and Winston are engrossed in their work when suddenly they're alerted by Nat that the tracking console has another anomaly from the loop provider. And suddenly there's a crack in the air. Siffler now appears.
Oh.
But he appears visibly distressed. Siffler has started to change in appearance, becoming more and more beastly. So they've got all these like loop provider technologies in the thing as they're trying to build their next one.
Yeah.
So they've got kind of like a half-constructed one. And Nat quickly slams it shut and sends it straight back to where it came from, kind of thinking quickly. He's landed on this little pad and Nat's been like, nope, back you go.
Send it back. Okay.
We now see what the Ghostbusters have been building. A giant black granite version of the loop provider that is portable. A unique vehicle called the Ellipse. The design is an absolute marvel, spanning almost 50 feet in length and 15 feet wide. So it's this huge, like, sailboat-like structure.
Wow.
Instead of the familiar wheels and fenders, this vehicle employs, they're called thrifters, but they essentially are like little rocket kind of,
They've really gone all out on this tech design stuff. It's wild.
This should be able to help them travel around the other plane, if it works.
This is like the from Godzilla versus Kong. You know the zero gravity little ships that
they just
billionaire
have.
guy makes? Yeah.
Stans, Nat, and Winston get in. Spengler wishes them luck, and a big pulse of energy, bang, they're also gone. So now they've gone in to rescue the team. As they enter the other realm, unexpectedly, they cross paths with massive hornets.
Hang on, what?
Yeah, so they're like kind of flying through the air.
So hang on, as in
giant
like,
hornets.
What? Like
wasps. Start attacking their ship. I think it's just weird creatures that they've thrown into hell as like a...
Because everyone hates hornets.
I guess, yeah. So there's this kind of action aerial sequence where they're dodging and weaving.
Do harpies. Like, if you've got minotaurs in there, do like harpies or something.
I call them harpies.
Okay.
As they traverse the varied landscapes, including the mysterious central mines and these open expanses, they're tracking their friends. They manage to swoop in and rescue them from... There's some demons keeping them hostage. They come in the ship and manage to rescue their friends.
Have they used their proton packs at all? No.
No,
They're
they
like
haven't.
sort of off to the side now.
Yeah,
The proton packs don't really work. Okay.
So they manage to get their friends and sail away. During their escape, their hornets are still... But they managed to escape. They've rescued their friends from Siffler's office and their demons.
Do you know hornets can, like, kill a beehive?
Well, this is why they're in Manhattan.
Well, do you know about that?
No.
So a hornet, right, will come and like a couple of hornets can systematically kill every single bee in a beehive, and then they go and they eat like the bee jelly, right? And so if one hornet lands and then goes back to get his mates, then they're dead, right? So what the bees will do, they can't kill the hornet, right? So what they do is they fly right next to the hornet, like heaps of them, and they bundle up around him to become like a ball, and they vibrate and flap their wings so quickly that they raise their body temperature and they cook the hornet.
What?
Yeah, to stop it getting back. Because if that hornet leaves, the scout hornet leaves and tells the other hornets, they'll come and kill it. So they're like all jump on, and all these bees die, but they cook and kill the hornet.
Like they die for the greater good of the...
Yeah.
And that was bee facts, so they even hornet. Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, no, it's wild. It's wild.
I did not expect that tangent in this episode.
To come
I'll be
in,
honest
yeah.
with you.
Well, I didn't expect giant hornets to be taking the Ghostbusters ship.
And that's the magic of this show.
That's the magic of cinema.
So the ship now heads towards the mysterious yellow glow on the horizon.
Yeah.
The nether region.
So hang on, this is all the old Ghostbusters and all the new
yeah.
Ghostbusters as well on the one ship.
Yes,
now.
except for Spengler's the only one that's...
Yeah, he stayed
remained.
back. Yeah.
So they cross the bridge that's kind of shrouded in this golden fog, and as they enter this kind of new airspace with the golden glow, their vehicle power systems seem to fail, and they briefly lose all their navigation and operational capabilities. They manage to restore the system, and they land, and the crew emerges into this serene golden environment, revealed to be a beautifully manicured golf course.
How very Donald Trump-esque.
Underneath a golden light. It's very like heavenly where they are. They look up to see a white golf cart approaching from the distance.
Hang on, what?
So this is like almost like a version of heaven that's a golf course. As the cart gets closer, Stans and Winston try to discern the driver. Suddenly the driver gets out, puts a putter over his shoulder, and walks towards them.
It better not be who I think it is.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's Bill Murray.
Pete, I'm so sorry about what happened.
Wait. I'm not Venkman. I assume this familiar form for you because it's the best way to communicate to you so many complicated matters. However, Pete does say hello. He's in a very happy place, and he forgives you for your part in the lab accident.
Thanks. Tell him we miss him. And love him.
I will. Now, what can I do for you?
You know this guy SIFFLER? Lives across the bridge?
Oh yes. He's an old associate. Nasty individual.
His place is crowded, so he's raising the dead where we come from and wants to take over our world as a dumping ground.
We've done as much as we can.
We need help.
We literally had nowhere else to turn.
Well, I know you mean it when you ask me like that. And I can see you've put a lot of effort into this and really tried your best to help out. So I'll tell you what. For 1 hour, whomever you can get to cross the bridge from there will be forgiven, redeemed, and accepted. But remember, I am keeping the bridge open for 1 hour only.
Amen.
Thank you.
Sure. They are all my children anyway.
Would it be too much to ask for a picture?
Look in a mirror. You'll find me there. Oh, and no autographs either. Not since Moses. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to sing this poem.
You heard what he said. Let's go talk to SIFFLER.
Okay, there's so much going on here, Cambo.
Now, one way to get a Bill Murray cameo is if they're like, what if you're literally God?
Yeah, what if you're God, and what if you're just playing golf?
Yeah. We'll film it
And
on
we'll do it on green
club.
screen. We'll go down to your golf course, and we'll just put a screen behind you, and you can just play golf and just say these lines every now and again. And then we'll pay you millions of dollars to do that. So was this meant to be Bill Murray?
Yes. Yeah. It specifically says it's Venkman.
That is why. But do you notice they're doing the old contact trick?
Oh yeah, they come in a form.
They come and they go, I've taken on a form that will be recognized, and it's like her dad, and they're like, you wait the whole film to see what the alien looks like, and they do that. So they've done that, mate. They've done that. They've done the old contact.
But so I guess the Ghostbusters just met God.
That's weird.
I mean, they met the devil as well, I guess.
Yeah, but the devil wasn't the devil. Like the devil is just like a demon-y sort of dude. This is God.
This is God. Yeah,
this is God.
Yeah.
And they're all. And just
look
in the
God
mirror, Cambo.
is Bill Murray.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah. God has told them, whoever you can get to cross the bridge in the next hour will be forgiven,
and they will go to heaven,
and they'll come to heaven.
Yeah.
So
unless you don't like golf.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't think heaven is just one giant golf course.
I'm pretty sure that's what it sounds like in the script, Cambo.
If it is.
It's pretty much
where,
like that.
Is there anything else here? No.
No, it's just golf for eternity. Then people will be like, this is my hell.
So they're now heading back to confront SIFFLER, try and let people know that they can cross over. We're now, up the back on the bridge. There's an ethereal light. The ellipse soars away from the golden horizon back into Manhunt. Meanwhile, inside SIFFLER's office, SIFFLER has returned from where he was, and he's now back in a slightly more human form. Okay. He's alarmed by something outside the window. A burst of crackling light, and suddenly the window of his office shatters into pieces. The chaos ensues. SIFFLER tries to escape through the panel, so it kind of crashed into his office. Dance and Winston quickly evacuate the ellipse, leaving Nat in control. Meanwhile, Frankie and Lovell manage to escape and exit the craft. As they depart, they protect themselves from potential threats using globs of plasm.
Okay.
So they're now throwing they're like hand grenades.
They're throwing globs.
Globs of plasma.
Yeah, okay.
Stan, Winston, and Moira, on the other hand, they venture into SIFFLER's office to attack him. And they start going up this spiral of the spear. Remember, they're in the
the giant
the giant spear, spire. Sorry, giant spire. So they're working their way up because SIFFLER's been heading up there. The Ghostbusters begin their ascent up the long, winding stairs towards the antenna tower at the top, which I like to think is a reference to the first Ghostbusters, where they arrive at the building. There's a big heroic moment, and then it just hard cuts to them.
It's one of the best cuts ever, and it goes to that dun, 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 and they're like a lot of stairs. Yeah, it's great.
I'm assuming this is a reference where they're trudging their way up these long stairs to the antenna tower at the top. Being pursued by the bodyguards behind them, we now see that SIFFLER is broadcasting an emergency message across the entire city.
Attention all residents and municipal personnel, this is your lord and master. Diabolic Spire is under attack by living humans. Converge on Diabolic Square immediately. Converge now on Central Mine South. I repeat, I am under attack by living humans.
Stop! Or I'll spackle you!
I'm not afraid of your weapons.
Wait, both of you, just listen. We've solved your overpopulation problem. An arrangement has been made to open up the nether regions to those residents of Manhattan who are permitted to cross the bridge in the next hour.
Get on your emergency broadcast system and tell everyone to head towards Jersey. They all have 1 hour's grace.
If you do that, then everyone will leave here and there will be no one to run this place for me. I choose who leaves and who doesn't.
Get away from that mic.
Wait. Think for a minute about what you're doing. You need this place. Without it, there wouldn't be a nether region. Your world would have no balance. Like stop and go, black and white, good and evil.
Sure. But nobody's had a chance to try it without you around.
Enough! No!
He looks good in puke green.
Attention all residents of Manhattan. The Heather region is open. All is forgiven and you are free. There's room for everyone on the other side of the bridge.
So,
Campbell, what is the fuck is going on?
I don't want to sound. I don't want this taken out of context. But the devil has a point.
Like,
you can't
who's
just
running-
kill the devil.
Yeah,
Because
and
then what happens to people?
But what? But why are these people here anyway?
And they're like not humans. They're
They're
like
like minotaurs.
yeah, they're like weird mythical creatures.
so why-
Maybe I don't know. Have they evolved into that since being there? But why are they got jobs?
But why are they not? Why like Jesus and the God or whatever? It's just like just let a whole bunch of people in.
Yeah,
just do that. Like why is this why wasn't this done all along? What like?
Well, I understand that SIFFLER was saying that he doesn't want everyone to go because he wants people to.
So you're
work
saying
for
all
him.
along, Jesus, God, Bill Murray would have gone, yeah, that's fine. You can let people across, but he was stopping people going across.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether Bill Murray God was always going to let people across until people came asking specifically for help. But it seems like
yeah, okay.
Are you saying that you don't think the logic of this script?
Yeah, it holds up to scrutiny, Campbell. Yeah, like a 10-year-old genius. I don't think it quite holds up.
Yeah. Look, this is look. In fact, let me just tell you the end of this because we're right at the end.
Okay.
But
bring it home.
The gate's
Campbell.
been open. People start flooding towards the light.
Yeah. Everyone.
The scene transitions to a hospital in New York. Tridonius, we met him in the last episode, is again on the brink of passing. And as he does, he envisions a golden tunnel of light, beckoning towards peace. At the end of the tunnel, familiar figures, including Peter Venkman, are waiting. Back in the physical world, outside the New York hospital, the team gathers. They enter an ecto unit, so they've obviously come back now into the
Oh, okay.
actual plane.
They've just come back.
Well, they have the
they
ability
did
to
the
with a new
announcement
vehicle.
and then they could, yeah, okay.
They enter the ecto vehicle and they drive off down the streets of New York, the city with a bustling cacophony of horns and shouts and everyday hustle. Feels incredibly alive. That's the end.
That's the end?
That's the end.
Okay.
There's so many implications of what they've done.
Yeah, that
are not answered.
So hang on, Cambo. Let's just talk about this for a second.
Sure.
Because, okay, so
they went to hell.
No, first of all,
yeah,
people stopped dying.
Yeah,
and then people started coming back to life.
Yeah.
So are we saying that Lucifer was sending people that were dead back to life?
Yeah.
And he was also not letting people die.
Yes.
Okay.
He wanted to
so
clear
if he
the
could
population
do that,
a bit, but
if he
not
could
entirely.
do that,
yeah,
then he was doing it. He was doing that.
Mhm.
That's what caused everything. That's what he
Yes.
wanted to do. Why did he need other technology?
He wanted the technology to do it on a larger scale.
Okay, so just in that montage where everyone was coming back to life, that wasn't a big enough scale where he basically brought all of Manhattan back to life.
I think essentially he wants to control both realms.
Yeah, that's fine. But he specifically said, I can't do this and I need your technology to do it when he was doing that already.
The whole third act of this feels so rushed because he appears in the mortal realm for literally a second.
I thought that was going to be a whole big thing. Like he was going to get into our room and then he was going to become like the devil.
He appears,
and that's when
he starts to transform and they send him right back. And that never comes up again.
No, it seems so undercooked, the back half of this, that it's literally losing steam. And they're just like, okay, Bill Murray's God. Okay, then this, and then he just lets everyone through. Like that is such a weak, like plot device.
Yeah.
They literally go to God and say,
saves the day.
Yeah, exactly. Amen to the big guy.
They talk about Deus Ex Machina, right?
Well, exactly.
This idea that some kind of otherworldly force solves the issue for you in a screenplay.
But God,
this is that.
That is
literally
times 10. Yeah, literally.
God showed up and solved their issue.
They should have called God like Dave Exanuel Mac or something like that. Like just that's how blatant it is. But even then, God doesn't actually get them to do anything.
Yeah.
They literally just go there, a light source, and then they go, hey, can you help us? And he's like, yep.
Well, what happened?
Oh, yeah, what happened?
What happened? And again, this is 2006, and we didn't get a Ghostbusters film until 2021. So there's still some time to cover.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we 2016, technically.
Yeah, don't you be forgetting that.
Actually, well,
don't you be whitewashing that part of history, mate. Should I say man-washing?
A Ghostbusters film with this cast.
Yeah, okay.
2021. Because, yes, we will get to 2016. So, financial concerns were the main issue. High budget required for the film. They were trying to make an entire hellscape.
Manhattan.
They had to make Manhattan.
Yeah.
And then combined with the financial risks involved, this made the studios really hesitant.
Is this pre or post the creation of Ghost Corp Productions?
I think they created Ghost Corp Productions prior to the 2016.
Okay.
But who knows? This could have launched it early.
Yeah, Ghost Corp Productions.
Jeez.
Fuck it up.
Such a bold thing to do.
Oh, man.
For one film franchise.
It'd just be like, oh, yeah, we're just making this huge production company because we're going to have like spin-offs.
There'll be an
like
interconnected franchise. We really looked to the dark universe.
Yeah, good.
So the success of other less costly films around the same time also shifted their priorities to the higher budget things like Ghostbusters 3 and more in favor to like the Apatow lower budget comedies that are making big bang. And they couldn't also agree on a draft. So this is a draft.
This is a pretty rough draft.
And like honestly, like we have problems with it and we're not involved.
Yeah, at all.
So
we've got no skin in the game, Campbell.
Exactly.
It's not my money.
So that was 2006. In 2008, Lee Eisenberg and Gene Stanipsky, who kind of made their chops on the American version of The Office, writing for that.
Okay.
They had previously collaborated with Harold Ramis on the comedy Year One.
I was going to say, I've got this terrible feeling you're about to say Year One. That is a terrible film.
Terrible.
That is so bad.
You'd be glad to know they were brought on to rewrite the Ghostbusters script. So that it started to iterate again. And there is apparently somewhere out there this version, the Eisenberg and Stanipsky version, but it seems much harder to find. In 2009, Aykroyd announced plans to start a new script again in the summer and hope for production to start by 2009. Maybe this is when Ghost Corp was coming into existence.
Yeah, maybe.
By March and then later in October 2010, the script was still undergoing revisions. We're now in 2011. A script continues to be refined with Aykroyd's optimistic about starting production in spring 2012.
I've heard that before, Dan.
They're saying this whole time there is a role for Bill if he wants it. But Bill has been cagey. But what they did do, and we've alluded to this throughout, is they did come back for Ghostbusters the video game.
Yeah.
And that actually got the entire cast back, Bill Murray included. And they had the entire cast reprise their roles, voice all new lines, and they took elements from all these scrapped ideas about interdimensional beings and all the technical jargon that you've heard.
The technical jargon
is ripped straight from the video game. In fact, I had to select these scenes quite specifically to have them say the technical jargon because it's not a one-to-one remake of this script. But they've adapted elements for it for the video game. 2014 now. Despite several drafts and scripts, the evolving concept, which included a new team of Ghostbusters, the project struggled to move into production due to casting and directorial problems. This is compounded by, in 2014, Harold Ramis passes away.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they just waited too long, mate.
They waited too long.
Waited too long.
Yeah, one of them literally died.
Yeah, they waited so long.
By this point, we're in May 31st, 2015. Paul Feig enters the conversation.
Mr. Feig.
He confirms that he was actually approached to direct Ghostbusters 3 several times, but he turned it down because he couldn't figure out how to do it and he wasn't excited about it.
I thought you were going to say, because Harold Ramis was still alive and I hate that man.
He said, I'm not excited for a Ghostbusters 3. What I will do, I'll actually start it again as the Paul Feig version of Ghostbusters. And that came out, Eden, and everything was fine.
And everything was fine. And Ghostbusters is as successful today as it's
Ghost
ever
Corp
been.
is the biggest. It rivals the MCU, some say. Dan Aykroyd specifically.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so it eventually made its way. They tried to get Paul Feig to develop it. Instead, he just took it and developed his version of Ghostbusters, which then pretty much leads up to current day.
That would be Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
Yes, retitled now.
Answer the Call. That's right. So do you... And then obviously they saw Stranger Things and they made Stranger Things.
Yeah, they made Stranger Things.
Twice.
With Ghost Harold Ramis.
With Ghost Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
So what was interesting is, have you heard there's this other rumor about this other script about the interdimensional, basically their own end game that they want to do?
Oh, wait, are they going to merge the two cinematic universes?
No, 3, Cambo.
With the real Ghostbusters?
No. With the animated Ghostbusters show.
The real
Ghostbusters. Yeah. So they're going to bring, because they don't quite look like.
Yeah, well, one of them's blonde.
One of them. Yeah, Egon's blonde.
In animation, they don't look different enough.
Yeah, so they made one of them blonde. So all 3 of the universes come together. So the girls, the guys, and the cartoon all come together to solve a problem. There's a rumor out there.
Okay,
so,
well, we want to answer one question and one question only with this podcast. Would you want to have seen this film?
Oh, is that the question?
That's the question.
I thought the question was going to be, who you going to call, Cambo?
Wow.
Well, I'm not going to call this script.
No, it's not great. Sometimes we get a script, maybe an Isobar, maybe an At the Mountains of Madness, and you go, what were they thinking? What a fun script this was.
Yeah, what a fun, crazy time.
But also sometimes you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah, I get why this didn't get made. No explanation needed.
Yeah.
It's a terrible concept.
They met God.
They met God, and God just solved all their problems. Like, it's so wild.
Well, we have come to the end of our cancelled movie report on Ghostbusters 3 or Ghostbusters Hellbent. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we would love it for you to subscribe on any podcast platform that you choose, or more importantly, if you would just tell a friend. We're completely independent here at Cancelled Movie Report, and your support really does mean everything to us. And if you want to support us even more, we even have a Patreon. We've got a bunch of cool bonus stuff on there, including a couple of bonus podcasts that you can get your ears on while we're between seasons. What did you think of the movie, and did we miss anything? We would love to hear from you. You can always get in touch with us via cancelledmovies@gmail.com or at cancelledmovies on all of the socials. And if there's a cancelled movie project you've always wanted to hear about, why not let us know? You can fill out the form in the episode description, alerting us to a project, and we may just give it the Cancelled Movie Report treatment. We also have to thank our amazing voice cast, which included Dani Siller was Moira, Jay Zadeh was Frankie, Erion was Lovell, Emily Ramirez was CARLA, Michael Hahn was Michael TAGHANIK, and yours truly was Luke SIFFLER. And all of the dialogue from the original Ghostbusters was extracted from the Ghostbusters video game. I'm Michael Campbell. I've hosted and edited this episode, and Eden Porter was my co-host too.
Thank you very much for having me, Campbell.
And we both produced the show. Next week, we are tackling another 80s film icon with our good friend Cameron Logsdon with the cancelled sequel to Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. If you can't wait, here's a sneak peek.
I need your help.
Yeah, well, all right. Here's the deal. They took away my license. What can I tell you?
If I get your license back, will you, in return, scare some developers off an island?
How are you gonna get my license back?
But until then, take care.